Welcome back. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the 3 types of crocheter. So in your crocheting life you may possibly move from one type of crocheter to the next or back again, just depending whereabouts you are. Not everyone will become a professional crocheter, but certainly most of you will be hobbyist if you're even watching this channel. So let's have a look at the 3 types of crocheter. So first we have the casual crocheter, the hobbyist crocheter, and the professional crocheter. So I'm going to talk about what defines each of these different types of crocheter, and you can see where you are, either casual, hobbyist, or professional. So the casual crocheter. As a casual crocheter you buy your own yarns, and that might seem obvious that we all buy our own yarns, but as you get further and further down you'll see that yarns will be provided for you certainly by some of the big yarn companies. But as a casual crocheter you buy your own yarns. As a casual crocheter you pick and choose what to make as it takes your fancy. So really, as a casual crocheter, you make what you like. Maybe you're doing a granny square, maybe you make a hat, maybe you make a baby's blanket. You can just do what you like as it takes your fancy. There are no limitations on what you can make. As a casual crocheter, you may use the finished item yourself or give it away to someone as a gift. So clearly, as a casual crocheter, you're just making things maybe for yourself, for your daughters, for your friends, for your mother, whoever, and you can certainly give these items away as a gift. As a casual crocheter, no money changes hands and you do not make a profit. So as a casual crocheter, you are perhaps making a hat, making a baby's blanket, and you're giving it away and nobody's paying you for it. You're just doing casual crocheting for the fun of it. Now let's look at the hobbyist crocheter. As a hobbyist crocheter, you do not advertise, market, or promote that you crochet. So you are still just crocheting along, and you're not at this point starting to promote and market yourself. That will come a little later. As a hobbyist crocheter, you make a few crocheted items each year. So now it's really become a hobby, and perhaps you're doing a blanket, maybe you're making several hats, bags, who knows what, some bridal stuff or something. So you're making several items each year. So it's more than you would as a casual crocheter. As a hobbyist crocheter, you sometimes get reimbursed for the costs. So the costs are how much it costs you to buy the yarn. So perhaps your sister says to you, if you make me a hat, can you make me a hat for my child? And I'll buy the wool. Or maybe your sister says to you, if you buy the wool and make the hat, I'll give you the money back for the wool. So you go out and you spend $10 on 2 balls of yarn, and you come back and you make the hat and you give it to your sister, and she pays you the cost amount for the yarn. So you're not actually, there's no profit being involved, and you're not actually selling the item. She's just reimbursing you the costs for the yarn. As a hobbyist crocheter, you make things at cost. So this is exactly what I'm just saying, that say you're going to make a tablecloth for somebody and it costs you $50 to buy the yarn. You craft the whole tablecloth and you say to the person you're giving it to, the yarn was $50, they give you $50, you are just being paid the cost it costs you to actually buy the yarn. Now by the same token, they could have given you the yarn and said, hey, can you make me this tablecloth, and you just make it. So you're not actually making any profit whatsoever. As a hobbyist crocheter, you may get a nominal amount for your time. So in this instance, people will come along and say, well, if you make me a baby's blanket, I'll pay you for your time. So if it takes you 5 hours to make it and the hourly rate in your area is $10 an hour, she will give you $50. So this is money for your time. As a hobbyist crocheter, you barter crochet for other services or goods. So in this example, you might be saying, well, I will crochet you a baby blanket, and for that you can look after my kids on Saturday afternoon when I have to go somewhere else. So you're bartering your crochet skills and time and yarns for other people's services. So, and babysitting is a classic one that comes in where you say, well, can I leave my kids with you on Saturday afternoon? I have to go to this event or something like that. So you are bartering your crochet skills and what you can make for actual other services that people could give you. You could also perhaps say, well, if you give me a haircut at home, I will crochet you a beanie or something like that. So you are bartering your crocheting for actual services. Let's have a look at the professional crocheter. As a professional crocheter, you have a crochet business name. So now it's different, now it's professional. So you have a crochet business name. For example, my name is oldenglishcreations.com. That's the name of my crochet business. As a professional crocheter, you have your own crochet business cards. Here's an example. If you are a crochet business, it makes sense to have business cards because people may meet you at flea markets, at craft fairs, in the yarn shop, wherever you go and wherever crocheters gather, or when you meet people even at the hairdresser and you say, I'm a professional crocheter, you can give your card and they can contact you afterwards. So you would have cards. You can either have them handmade, which is really quite pretty, or you can just get them printed at places like Vistaprint or something like that. But you would have a crochet business card with your business name, perhaps your phone number, not always, and your name, and maybe even the type of crocheting that you specialize in. As a professional crocheter, you own your crochet domain name, such as yourcrochetbusinessname.com. So a domain name is anything really that ends with .com, or it could end with .ca or .edu, but generally it's .com. .com means a commercial business, which is what a professional crochet business is. So if you are maryjanecrochets.com, that is your domain name. And in my case, it's oldenglishcreations.com. That is my domain name. As a professional crocheter, you run a current website and post most weeks. So if you are a professional crocheter, you will have a website under your domain name, yourcrochetbusiness.com, and you will have some bits of information there about yourself. You might be posting, and when I say posting, maybe you're writing a blog post once a week and you're going to talk about what happened, or the work you're working on, or new patterns you're creating, or something like that, or you're showcasing a new yarn. But ideally, you want to have some fresh content arriving on your website virtually once a week, even if it's just snippets. You need to be tending your website. As a professional crocheter, you promote to all social media channels that work for you. My examples are Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. And as time goes on, other social media platforms are coming up, like TikTok or something, which I haven't used. I'm not even sure what it's about. I am on Facebook, I was on Twitter, I do have a little bit of Pinterest, but personally I prefer Instagram, so I'm trying to focus in on one. You may feel stretched if you post to all the channels, but really you need to have a presence, and if you have a business crochet name, you need to own that page on Facebook and on Pinterest and on Instagram. As a professional crocheter, you have a growing mailing list of clients and potential clients. So because you're in business as a professional crocheter, you need to get yourself a mailing list. I would recommend MailChimp to use. And what you do is you are collecting email addresses of anyone who purchases items from you, or anyone who makes inquiries about the work you do, or anyone who you relate to on a crochet basis, people you meet at craft fairs, people you meet at the wool shop. Anyone like that who is interested, or anyone who buys one of your patterns or one of your items that you've crafted or that you bartered with, you get their email name and it goes on your mailing list. And the idea is that your mailing list is ultimately will grow and grow and grow. It starts off with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and eventually it grows bigger. And these are the people that you can then write newsletters to in the end. It's not something that you're perhaps going to do if you've got 2 people on your list, but you need to get organized and geared up to capture emails from day one so that you can spread the word about the new hat pattern you have, or where you're going to be teaching a crochet class or something like that. As a professional crocheter, you have a fan base of readers, clients and followers. And I have some numbers here, and they are my numbers. So the idea is that a weak fan base would be less than 100 fans, a medium fan base would be less than 1,000 fans, and a strong fan base would be more than 1,000 fans. So a fan is anyone who friends your crochet business page on Facebook, anyone who is on your mailing list, anyone you speak to face to face, anyone you teach a class of crochet to. All of these people would add up to a certain number, and they would be loosely referred to as your fans. Many people believe that once you only need 1,000 true loyal fans to actually run a beautiful business. So there's no rush to get these fans, and they need to be crochet related people who are interested in what you have to say about crochet. So it's not just the guy who lives next door who you happen to know, or Uncle Bob down the road. They are not your fans. The people who are your true fans are those who will read a blog post if you post it, who may buy a pattern if you create one, and who would open your newsletter, or would want to go to a show where you are presenting something, where you're maybe even going to be teaching or giving a talk about crochet or something like that. The idea is that it's a loose word to say fans, and it does, you count up all your social platforms and everyone on your mailing list, and these are how you know how robust or not your fan base is. I would say generally you're aiming at 1,000. That is an excellent number to run a robust crochet business with. As a professional crocheter, you know your niche, you stay in your niche, and you own your niche. So in this image we have, I think it's little mice and little animals. I'm not quite sure if they're quite amigurumi, but if that is your niche, if that's what you specialize in within the broad area that is crochet, if you focus down to animals and you take it further down to amigurumi, so it's only the very small ones, that is your niche. Perhaps you do hats, beanies, that is your niche within the broad crochet niche. The idea is we can all crochet a blanket or a hat or a mouse, but to grow and develop you need to specialize down into a specific area and say, I do hats, or I do animals, or I do baby blankets, or whatever it is. Now the actual item that you create could be your niche, so your niche could be hats, blankets, bags, bridal stuff, or your niche could be the type of crocheting you're doing, such as filet crochet, which I do a lot of filet crochet, or it could be Tunisian crochet if that's your niche. So your niche could be the actual techniques you're using, maybe Irish crochet, and that would be your niche. So the idea is that you need to specialize from this broad area that is crochet and bring it right down to what you specialize in. That is your niche. As a professional crocheter, you know who you are and who you are not. You know what you do and what you don't do. These rules will be different for you as they are for me. You know who you are. Are you a crocheter, or do you knit as well? Are you a crocheter, or do you do art as well? Are you a crocheter and you only crochet? Who are you and what do you do? Do you only work with natural fibers? Do you only work with local yarns sourced carefully from the environment? You have to know who you are and the type of work you're doing. You also need to know what you don't do. You don't take perhaps on project. Say someone comes to you and says, I need 50 hats and I need them by next Thursday. Honestly, are you going to do that? Some of you will, but that will not be everybody. Not everyone will be able to pick up that. So just because you're a crocheter doesn't mean you crochet everything, because as we said before, you're specializing down to your niche, so you know who you are, what you do, and you also know what you don't do. As a professional crocheter, you can recite your elevator pitch in less than 30 seconds and in under 100 words. So your elevator pitch is information you can impart about your specific crochet business in the time it takes to ride an elevator. So typically it's under 30 seconds. So you have to be able to say under 30 seconds, and generally it's within 100 words, what your crochet business is about. So you might be saying that I crochet bridal work, I do scarves and shawls for bridal women, and I sell patterns, and I only work in cotton. Or you might say, I teach crochet, I have classes 3 times a week, and my students are mainly 40+ women. So your elevator pitch is something that you could say to someone if you met them at a cocktail party and they say, oh, what do you do? You say, oh, I have a crochet business and I do this. So you're not waffling on about what general crochet is, because it's a vast subject. And the person that you're talking to might think, crocheting, I'm not even sure what that is. So you specialize down and say, I do bridal shawls in crochet. And then they understand exactly what it is you're doing. Your elevator pitch has to be able to be understood by anyone that you are talking to, even the guy next door who has no clue what the difference is between crochet or knitting. Horrors. That's your elevator pitch. So you work your 100 words. You can also post it on your website, on your about page, and say, I do this, 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 and this. Clearly, everybody understands the type of crochet you're offering, the type of training or the type of yarns you're working with, or whatever it is. So we all know what your niche is and what you specialize in, and whether or not you're the person we need for that job. Because if I'm looking for bridal work, I really want a bridal crocheter. But if I'm just looking for general kids stuff, I can go elsewhere. As a professional crocheter, you have multiple income streams from your crochet business. An income stream is one method of how someone would pay money to you. So say you crochet hats and you sell the hats, that's an income stream. That would be one income stream. But then say you take the pattern for your hat, your original pattern for the hat, you write it up as a PDF document and you post it on Etsy, you are then selling the digital pattern, and that would be your second income stream. So you are not having to craft the hats, which take up so much time, you're actually then just selling the pattern. A third potential income stream for crocheters would be teaching classes. Often down at your local yarn store, they're wanting crochet teachers and knitting teachers as well. So you could go in and teach crocheting. You could also teach people in your own home. You could maybe host a meetup group every Saturday afternoon, provide tea and cake, and everyone comes around and pays $10, and you have a crochet circle. That would be another type of income stream. You might be a crochet photographer where you're actually taking photographs of people's crochet work to help them promote their business, and you would put yourself forward as that as well. So you may have multiple income streams surrounding your crochet business, from actual items, patterns, what you're doing, who you're engaging with. Maybe you do a weekend retreat or something in crochet. If you write a book about crochet, or you do a whole load of crochet patterns in a book, that book itself will be another income stream. So you're not just relying on, oh, I need to finish this hat, otherwise I won't get the $10. So that's why you want to diversify and have multiple income streams. As a professional crocheter, you buy yarns carefully, wholesale and online, to maximize profit. So because you're a professional crocheter, if you are doing bulk orders, if someone wants 50 hats, for instance, you wouldn't go down to your local shop. You would order it online, maybe directly from the yarn manufacturers, and get the yarn at a better price. So that would be wholesale when you're buying bulk. Also, if you buy yarns online, sometimes there are good deals. If there's perhaps a color that's at an end of line and you want to buy all those green emeralds because you're doing something for St. Patrick's Day, you could then order online and get a better deal, which you will not get in your local yarn shop. Even though they may have discounts on this, that or the other, if you are professional, you are following the trends and looking ahead to actually make the purchasing of your yarns more economical, because it maximizes profit. As a professional crocheter, you price your goods fairly for wholesale, retail and custom work. So pricing is a big concern for crocheters. If you're a professional, you need to get your prices right. You need to make sure you are charging the correct amount for your crocheting, because you're a professional crocheter, you're not a hobbyist, and you're certainly not a casual crocheter. So if you're crocheting wholesale, that is when somebody wants 50 hats by December the 1st in the school colors or something, and you produce them way ahead, and that is wholesale. So you give a better price because you're crocheting in bulk. If you are selling to retail, which is any shop that's just down the road, maybe there's a craft shop, maybe there's a kids shop, maybe again there's a bridal shop or a baby shop, and they want to buy your bridal or baby stuff or whatever, that is your retail price that you are selling to retailers at, and that will have profit built in, as will the wholesale price. And if you're doing custom work, that is something very specific. As an example would be a bridal veil for someone who wants some super duper exotic original bridal veil with her initials filleted in on the edge of the train or something. That is custom work, and that needs to be priced accordingly, and that will be even higher than your retail, which is higher than your wholesale price. I'll talk about prices in an upcoming video. As a professional crocheter, you have a crochet business plan for the next 12 months. There are many ways to do a business plan, and if you've never done one before, it can be overwhelming. Ideally, you need to get yourself a journal, an A5 journal, where you're making notes about your crochet business. And the idea is that you want to plan in there where you're taking your business, because you can only crochet so many hats a day, then you reach capacity. And from there you need to develop the income streams I was talking about, and you need to plan if Halloween's coming up, if Christmas is coming up, if St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and that's where you are planning what you're going to be working on. You also need to somewhere in the next 12 months plan your 2-week time off, some vacation time. You need to plan in perhaps every Sunday, that's your fresh creative time, where you don't work on clients' work, where you're building your business as well. So there are many ways to sort out your month, or sort out your week, or sort out your day. But the point is, it's not the best thing is not to just wake up in the morning and think, oh, maybe I'll crochet a hat. Oh, hang on, let me go and buy some wool. That is not a good way to work with it. You need to say, well, when I go to my yarn shop, which is the second Tuesday of every month, I need 10 balls of this and 6 balls of that and 3 new crochet hooks, because maybe you're teaching a class and you have to have all the supplies you require. So you want to have a plan about what you're doing as the year is progressing. It does help to have some idea about what you're going to be doing next week, or even 3 months time if you want to start prepping your Christmas stuff, do some advent calendars, whatever it is, you want to be working ahead. As a professional crocheter, you use an editorial calendar. Now, an editorial calendar will tell you when you are posting either stuff to your website, videos, or posts even to your Instagram, and what you're going to be talking about. So say you have created a new pattern for a tablecloth, and you're going to release the pattern to Etsy next Tuesday, or whatever your day is, you will at the same time post to your social channels on that day. You will also write a blog post for your website, and you will promote the whole tablecloth launch almost in an organized fashion. So say, for instance, you're going to publish 12 tablecloths in the next 12 months. You're going to create these patterns. You need time to create the actual item, and then to write the pattern and have it fact checked and copy edited and make sure your pattern's correct. And then you're going to sell it. You might even then want to talk about it at your local yarn shop. You might want to talk about it at the actual kitchen shop where you're selling these tablecloths. Who knows? But you will not just finish an item and that's it. You need to post about it. You need to put it on your Instagram, put it on your Facebook, and that is where the editorial calendar comes in, where you say, well, on Tuesday I need to have my Pinterest image ready, and on Friday I will be launching the pattern, and it will be at a discount for my fans to start with, and then the price will go up later. And this is my cat. Okay, as a professional crocheter, you keep simple financial records. So what this means is, as a professional, you will have to do your books at the end of the year, and it can be complicated. It doesn't need to be. You need 2 columns, one for money in, one for money out. In your money in column will be anytime anyone pays you for a class you taught, or a book you sold, or the hat you made, or the crochet garments. Anything you sell on Etsy will be put as income, and then your outgoings will be the yarn you had to buy, hooks you had to buy, papers, packaging, postage, Etsy fees, any other fee, Ravelry fees, website fees, anything else that go down will be on your out column. So you will always keep an in and an out column. And I do want to stress that you do not want to be just pocketing that $10. It doesn't work. It's bad karma to do so. You need to be, if you're in business, you're in business, and keep simple financial records. As a professional crocheter, your income covers your business costs, web hosting, printing, labels, postage, etc. So the ideal thing is that the money you get from the actual crochet income streams you have will cover all of these web hosting, printing, labels, and so on. And you need to, this is why you have to price accordingly to cover all of your business expenses. I'll talk about that in another video as well. As a professional crocheter, you make a profit each month and each year. This profit can be small, but it's still a profit. The day you launch your professional crochet business, from that 12-month period, hopefully you will have made a profit during that first 12 months. Not everyone will. It may take a year or 2 to get to the point where you're running your business smoothly, making a profit. But if you are very careful, you can immediately in that first month create profits, because you might be making items from yarns you already have, and then you're selling them on and making your profit there. Also, if you've written a book, I mean, there's a long lead time, or your patterns or whatever. But the idea is that you want to be following along. That's why you need to do accounting, to make sure that you are making a profit. So you can say, well, in October I made $50, and in November I made $60, and in December I made $100. And this is profit on the company, because ultimately that's the whole point of making a profit, to live off ultimately. And as it grows, it is an exponential increase, that the more patterns you have out there, the more garments you make, the more items you sell, the more classes you teach, the more money you're going to make. And it takes a while to gain a bit of traction, but once you've got your groove, it should be nice profit for you. I'm not saying it's going to solve all your financial problems, but certainly you can make a profit from a small professional crochet business. So there it is. I've given you some ideas about the 3 types of crocheter and the determination of what makes each one which. So you've got the casual crocheter, the hobbyist crocheter, and then the professional crocheter. And I'd be interested to know in the comments below where you see yourself. Are you a casual crocheter? Are you a hobbyist crocheter? Or are you moving, or have you moved into the realm of professional crocheter? Because there are quite a few different criteria that separate the 3 types of crocheter. Let me know what you think. I'm Alison. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.